Hi, this is Rick and John, and this is our second trip to Alaska, this time going in the cold season. We think this time turned out to be the best time to visit Alaska and experience winter. We started flying out from home from Atlanta, Georgia to Fairbanks, Alaska. In Fairbanks, we stayed at Pikes. This would be our home base, returning here several times after traveling to other destinations. Our first full day was exploring Fairbanks. Have to be honest, not the most exciting place, but a good home base for our other destinations. Our first destination, Borealis Basecamp, about 30 miles north of Fairbanks.
It's a great opportunity for folks who want to come up from the lower 48 and live and work in Alaska.
One of the things we were really looking forward to on this trip to Alaska was to see the Northern Lights. We now had over a week of evenings to hopefully see them. This would be a perfect place to view them in all their glory. This was a perfect place to see the Northern Lights, as long as there wasn't cloud cover. A chime would sound at night to wake you up so that you could view the Northern Lights. Unfortunately, due to cloud cover, this was the best we saw on our 2 nights there. Our first activity here, an ATV experience.
Mr. Weaver, ready?
By the way, Alaska is a great place to have a drone.
I started in Italy. It should be fun. It'll be fun.
Our next activity, dog sledding. You could tell these dogs really loved their job. And Adam, their leader, you could tell he really loved those dogs.
Tico! Tico! Oh, you son of a gun. Alright, guys.
Have to give a shout out to Adam. He was the perfect teacher for our dog sledding adventure. It's back to Pikes for a night, and then off to Chena Hot Springs. Chena Hot Springs is about 62 miles east of Fairbanks. The roads were not bad, a little ice and snow, but anybody with experience in winter driving wouldn't have had a problem. One of the other attractions, other than the hot springs, is the Aurora Ice Museum. They say the world's largest ice environment, and they keep it a nice, consistent 25 degrees. Doesn't have any desire to stay in.
It's a bear. Polar bear.
I see that. At the end of our tour, we had an apple martini. served in an ice glass. Another night at Pike's and we were off to the Dalton Highway, on our way to the Arctic Circle and ultimately to Coldfoot, Alaska. This would be about a 250-mile drive. Those interested in driving the Dalton Highway should be prepared. This is the Ice Road Truckers Road. We had a four-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee with new snow tires. We took plenty of food and water with us in case of an emergency, and also we rented a satellite phone for our entire trip. Here we are at the start. We got snow coming down pretty good. The next stop would be the Yukon River Camp on the Yukon River. This is the last and only place for gas until you get to Coldfoot. Meanwhile, on the road, you want to give the trucks a wide berth. The road is actually smoother in the wintertime with a snow base. You don't have to deal with the mud and the dust. Just stay out of the truckers' way. One thing we saw a lot of was the Alaska Pipeline, truly a modern marvel. The pipeline is almost 800 miles long. I found the gravel portions of the road were smoother and less slippery than the paved portions. Like I said, anyone responsible with winter snow driving experience should not have a problem driving on the roads like this. We stopped at the Yukon River Camp to gas up and to eat lunch that we had brought. For some reason, they didn't start serving lunch there until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was just noontime now. And then we were back on the road. The next stop, the Arctic Circle. Another nice thing about traveling this time of the year is nobody else was there. And while we were there at the Arctic Circle, we found the birds to be very friendly. They're ready to get some food from me. I think can't eat it all. Big one.
I'll run from that one.
Good. Pig, pig.
Get some more.
Here she comes. We could have stayed there and fed the birds all day long, but we did stop on the way back and feed them again, this time prepared with plenty of bread. Back on the road again, another 60 miles to Coldfoot, Alaska. Coldfoot, Alaska is a truck stop with a motel, a pretty large motel. Across from the motel is the restaurant and gas station. The people that worked here were all very friendly, very accommodating. After a nice meal, we headed back over to the motel, to our room for the evening. This is the grand lobby of the hotel, and I think the concierge had the night off tonight. Walk down this nice hall to our almost $200 a night room. After a nice evening's rest, we headed back, on our way back south to Fairbanks. Another night in Fairbanks at Pikes, and then a day trip to the city of North Pole, Alaska. It's about a 20-minute drive from Fairbanks. We left the North Pole for another night at Pike's, and early the next morning off to the airport for our trip home. Unfortunately, while we were there, every night we tried to see the northern lights, but it was always cloudy, so the best nights we saw were at the Borealis Basecamp.